I think maybe you can start with the introduction. It's fine. Yeah.
Okay, all right, perfect. Okay, guys, so welcome everyone. Really happy for you to be here. Thank you so much for making it. I know it was 1 week that we said we are going to do this, so we are really excited to see so many people that want to get ahead in the job search. And of course, just before anyone joins, I did wanted to tell a bit about us, just before going into it. Anna, could you please go to the second slide? Thank you so much. All right. So before going into everything, I did wanted to tell you a bit of a backstory, of course, a bit about us. So we are three sisters. We are on a mission of helping more internationals just get a high-paying job in Germany. And we build a community of over 30,000 on LinkedIn, most of them internationals, and we have been helping people for the last 2 years to get hired in Germany. Right now, we moved to Germany. I can tell you a bit of us. We moved to Germany 5 years ago. So back then, none of us had a clear roadmap. And it took us over 1 year before one of us landed a proper job in Germany, in Berlin, actually. Of course, before that, we were working in gastronomy, as you can see here, and we were getting daily rejections, emails because of the language, because of our lack of local experience. So we know exactly what you are going through right now. And of course, after landing our first jobs and after just building our dream careers, what we are doing is we are helping more people do the same. So I was able to get into marketing. I was able to even have my own marketing meetup of more than 350 marketeers, as you can see there. Olga was able to just get into software engineering and just land her first full-time full stack job. And this, she made it being a career changer herself. And Anna got into sales. She got into management afterwards. And of course, she also has recruitment experience. And since then, we've been just helping people do the same as we did. And Anna, could you go to the next slide? All right. So now, in terms of results using this framework, because I think this is really important for you to know, we've been helping over 150 internationals just land their dream jobs. They had an average salary of 50K and an average placement time of around 90 days. 90 days is what we expect you to have, and it's a really healthy job search in Germany. Now, our students have been getting jobs in companies like JP Morgan, eBay, Tesla, Brita, Siemens. We are super proud, actually, of the results that they have achieved. I will just highlight 3 examples because I won't get too much into it. I want to get into the framework, and Anna will get much more into there. But some example that you can really see is Avinas, who is the first guy in the picture. And actually, Avinas was able to secure his full-time role as a software engineer in Hamburg only after working 4 weeks together. Before that, he wasn't getting any tractions in his applications. And Somia as well, who is the guy you see in the fourth picture. I don't have the pointer, but I guess you can say, okay, 1, 2, 3. All right. So Somia also got his first full-time job in Statista. Actually, is in Hamburg. It's one of the biggest corporations in Hamburg. And he actually got it in 3 months, just after 1 year of not hearing anything back from companies. And the last one that I'm going to highlight for you to understand is Deepa, is the last one in the pictures. And Deepa was able to land 3 final job offers from local companies with just 2.5 months of joining the academy. Before that, she just got 2 interviews after 1.5 years of applying. So if your problem right now is getting traction and not landing interviews, that problem will be 100% be solved after you follow the system. I can tell you that. Anna, you can go to the next slide. I won't go too much into these results. This is for you to understand. So you can see many people who got interviews, and we wanted to give you an idea. It is possible all these people, they don't have any German skills, or they have B1, A1 German. They all got jobs in the English-speaking market in Germany specifically, and they got jobs in what they wanted, and they got full-time jobs, most of them. So I won't really go too deep into it. This is for you to understand. Now Anna will go deeper on explaining the 4 steps to success and the roadmap that they all followed. So right now, guys, I would really recommend to you to take the notebook out and take some notes, because Anna is gonna drop a lot of wisdom, and she's gonna really talk and put in detail everything that has been working so far. So Anna, you can speak right now.
Okay, super. Miruna, I made you co-host because I think you will need to accept
Yes.
people.
Yes, no worries.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, guys, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for giving us your time. And thank you, Miruna, for putting all this together, because guys, for real, you're going to be so grateful to Miruna. She put all this together. She told me, hey, let's get together and let's bring this guy some value, because she's the one that, well, Olga, and she is the one that is talking to you the mostly. I'm really busy with the people that we have. Olga is also mostly busy with the community. So Miruna coming to me and telling me like, hey, these guys need help. Let's just do something to end that. That was awesome. So thank you, Miruna, for making this possible. And yes, I'm going to talk about about how to get your job in 3 months, basically, which is the time that we work together with our clients. And right now we work together also with the community. And this is basically the time that you should have for achieving that goal that you have, which is the job. In reality, it's less than this. In reality, it should be up to 8 weeks, honestly. And in the most extreme cases, it should be 3 months. But if you are taking more than 3 months, something is wrong. And if you are taking, when you are in 8 weeks, you are struggling, something is wrong. So we are going to look into that. And okay, why am I talking? Well, I'm the main trainer at Jobsys, and basically I'm the one that is also with our premium clients, and I'm the one that is showing all this. Olga is the one in the community as well, and she's in charge of the technical people and technical interviews. And Miruna usually is going to be with you guys when you enter, and is going to basically welcome you and so on. But anyway, I will go straight into it. What I'm going to talk about are 4 points, basically. And that is first, how to unblock English jobs, which I think everyone is super interested about. Second, how to build a CV and LinkedIn and basically cover letter, so you get qualified and obviously you get an interview. Third, how to research, apply, network. This is really important because this is what is going to sustain your job search and those interviews coming. And fourth, and last but not least, interviews, which is, if we don't care about interview prep, we will just not make it, honestly, in this current market. And this is basically what I'm going to talk about, is based on the 200 people basically that we trained. We have been training people for 2.5 years. And right now we started Jobsys recently, Jobsys community. But basically, this was after 150 people trained. And this is what we are going to talk about today. And I'm going to start right away. So basically, I understand that you are going to be focusing on English job. And you will see this is something that I recommend. But there is a part of the coaching that we notice that it's being missed, but many of you, which is basically deciding what role you want. And this is something that happened also with Deepa. This is a client that I had this summer. She started with me something about May or something like this. And she is now employed she basically got employed something like August. She started working, and she was basically relocated from India to Europe with an opportunity card. So what we did first was, because she was coming from a background where she was looking for a role for 1 year, what we did first was understanding what is the best role for her to apply. And this is something that most of us miss. And I see many mentees missing when they come to the coaching, which is you need to understand what is best for you to apply, because if you apply to the wrong roles, you are also getting rejections. And I wanted to put attention in 3 parts here. One is you need to choose the roles that you're going to apply based on your previous experience. And what I mean with this is also paying attention to the name of the role, because the name of the role is also going to matter a lot for the recruiter who is basically looking at your profile, and also for the ATS before the recruiter. So role and your experience matter a lot in terms of what do you apply to. And for the ones that want to go into another role, because for example, Deepa, she was a business analyst, and when she came to the coaching, she was like, okay, Anna, but I don't want to keep being a business analyst. I want to go to the next level. I want to be a product owner. And we were like, okay, cool. What is your last experience? And we look at the 7 previous years of experience, and we saw that she had a small experience also with product management, but in reality, even if the roles were not named the same way, she had experience with product management, and that's why we choose, okay, is the right step and is the right choice to go now for the next one. But you need to look into your experience, and you need to look also into the names of your roles, because if it doesn't match with what you're applying for, most probably with this market and this competition, guys, you're just going to get rejected. So roles is one thing. For technical people, and technical people meaning even marketing people and sales people, guys, you need to care about the technologies that you use, because again, if the market is competitive, that means that they will evaluate you with everything. And that means that they will not just care that you have the experience with the responsibilities, but also that you have the experience with the technologies. So please care about the technology as well when you are choosing the next role or the ideal role for you to apply. And third, obviously, positionings and interests. So decide what kind of company you want, decide if it's small business, if it's startup, if it's enterprise, what kind of salary you want. Guys, many of you come to me and you are like, Anna, I don't even want a salary. I just want a job. I just want to start somewhere. And I'm like, that's not the way that you should go to the market. If you mention a salary that is not in the range that it should be, you are going to get rejected. And this is simple. People and recruiters, they want professionals that know what their worth is, because if you don't know what your worth is, that says a lot about your seniority level. Like if you come to me and you tell me I'm able to take whatever it comes, that's not what a senior person would say. That's just someone that is really junior and starting who say, and that's something that we couldn't do with Deepa. When we started working together, we were like, I don't want 60K, I don't want 70K, I don't want 80K. I want to get 80 to 90 in base salary, and then I want to get a lot of benefits. And relocation benefits, car benefits, bonuses benefits, and all these things, guys, they should be super, super clear. And this is the first step. The first step is not going with your CV and going right away into modifying the CV and modifying the cover letter. Is decide what you want with all the conditions that you want. It's super important. If you have a mess on this, it's just messy job search already. And Miruna put it super well here, because you need to care about all these things that are on the left, that are on the left and on the right side. So basically, you need to care about job title, you need to care about industry, you need to care about your experience level, you need to care about your location, and you need to care about language. And I have 2 things to say here. These 3, job title, industry, experience level, I think you guys know what is your experience level, what is your industry and job title. For experience level, first thing, don't apply to roles that are below and don't apply to roles that are over. You either are underqualified or overqualified. And that's a reason also for rejection. So just have a sweet spot in the middle and really close to the experience that you have. And try to niche down unless you don't have enough roles open, like don't open the doors. Just niche down to the experience that you have, or maybe 1 year up or 1 year down. But that's all. Don't apply to junior roles when you are senior, believing that they will get someone that is senior. It's not about you. It's about recruiters care about much more than just filling a role. Recruiters care about your motivation, your development path, yourself in 2 years. And that's something that it counts also in our job and in our performance reviews. And that's something that we are taught to care about. So don't be overqualified or underqualified. Care about the location you are. A lot of people ask me, Anna, can I apply in whole Europe? Because I have this visa in Germany, but I can go anywhere because I'm so flexible. And I'm like, yeah, but from a company perspective, you are worth money if you're applying in a country where you don't have a visa. So you are more expensive if you're applying in a country where you don't have a visa. So it's also unqualified. So guys, care about this. I would recommend you, if you're in Germany, apply in Germany. That's all. Don't apply in places where you are not going to need a visa sponsorship and where they are going to reject you 99.9% of the time. And then languages. Guys, if you don't speak, and I'm not going to say B1, B2, A1, A2, I'm going to say, if you don't speak a business fluent, if you cannot have a business fluent conversation in German, then you are not qualified for a German job, unless they mention just know some basic German. But if you don't speak, like if you cannot have a fluent conversation in German, don't apply to German jobs. And I see a lot of people applying with this, I have this friend that, got this role and it was in German, but they made an exception. Guys, this happens like 0.001% of the times. Like, don't risk it. With VIPA, we didn't have to apply to English, to German jobs because we didn't know how to speak German. So why would we apply to German jobs? And her level of German was something close to B2. Actually, I don't remember if it was B2 certified, but it was something really close to B2. And even in that moment, we didn't apply and we didn't have interviews in German because it didn't make sense for us. It's better to niche down than to just apply to everything. Now let's continue. Okay, let's imagine we have everything clear. We know what we are going to apply to. Please care about these 5 things. This is gold. And let's imagine that we start applying. Guys, please apply to the site where it's easy for you to find roles. And in the community and in the coaching, we provide a list of them, and we actually provide you even with roles in many cases. But for example, one of the easy to go is LinkedIn, Glassdoor. Jobware is something really new, and Ota is something also really new, which is super useful if you want to find jobs. Again, in the community, this is much longer, and usually we provide a whole list because the sites, the job sites, honestly, they change. And depending on the year, they also make new ones and they remove some. So yeah, if you want to be updated, I mean, just either follow us on social media or just ask for it. Okay, I'm going to go into the next step, which is I know what I want. Now I'm going to build my CV and my LinkedIn. And Miruna put it super well here. Again, thank you, Miruna, because without you, we couldn't be here. So Miruna put it super nicely here, which is we have a CV, which is our main CV, and we have a digital CV. And if you don't have, or you don't pay attention to one of both, because you say, oh, but I'm getting interviews, so I care about my main CV, but I don't care about my digital one because I'm not a social media person, then you are going to get rejections for so many roles for which you could get a yes, basically. And this is because, again, guys, competition is not the same applying 2 years ago as applying now. And recruiters don't care also about the same when you have 500 people as competition. And they will evaluate every single part of your profile. And if you don't care about it, then it doesn't matter. You will just get a rejection. So I could say these 2 CVs are necessary, like are 100% necessary. I couldn't ignore any of them. We are going to see really, really small and really shortly how to build this. But basically, what we do in the community, and we have a module of a couple of hours for this, is not like super direct. And this is something that I usually pay attention for hours, because this is the main and one of the most important steps when it comes to the job search, is how to make your CV. And this is one of the templates that we use also in the community. But basically, I wanted to talk about a few points. One is you need to include a professional picture if it's professional. So no sunglasses, no selfies, no Nothing like that. Invest in a photographer or just don't mention any picture. And same with your LinkedIn. We are going to see it later. Second, length. I see a lot of people having problems in, is it too long or is it too short? And I'm like, first of all, don't fall short in information just because you want to keep it to one page. And also don't include so much relevant information that we have 3, 4, 5 pages. Guys, no one will read a CV of 3, 4, 5 pages. We don't have even time for reading one that is a normal CV. So no one will read more than that. So keep it in between. So let's say 1.5 or up to 2 pages. For example, Deepa, the person we were talking about, she had something like 7 to 8 years of experience and we just made it 2 pages. And that's completely fine. Now, clean format, obviously, you see there are not colors. This is a document that everyone has access in Google Documents, and you can modify every single element. There is no ATS incompatibility, which means we don't have any photographies, we don't have any tables, we don't have any weird colors. And then one thing that is missing a lot in many CVs that I see is every single bullet point, guys, it should have numbers, technologies, and keywords. And for everyone that tell me, oh, but I cannot find any numbers, guys, I'm going to be super honest, your competition will find numbers. So in some way, you will have to find numbers. And honestly, if you are creative enough, you can find numbers. It's not everything about percentages. It's not everything about things that you optimize. It's not about making up information. We work with every single mentee. They have different backgrounds. They have different careers. And we are able to find numbers for everyone. And in the community, even we have a 2 pages document where it's just about examples on how you can get numbers. So if you're not getting numbers, it's just you need to sit down and think about what kind of numbers that are not percentages, again, you can mention. But again, you need to remember every bullet point should have numbers, technologies, percentages. Super important. And then there are other sections, like, for example, relevant projects or languages, education. Those cannot be missing. But again, we have hours on this because this is such an important important topic. And basically here we just wanted to give you a bit of how it should look like and what are the deal breakers for it. Now let's go to optimization. LinkedIn optimization is one of the things that are the most ignored for most of our mentees, because either there is one case, I don't want to be a social media influencer, or second case, I'm so shy, I don't even want people to know my information. So if you are one of those, I'm sorry to tell you, you will have to open up to social media at least to have the basic optimization. And basic optimization means you need a professional picture here. This is a non-negotiable, guys. If you don't have a picture on LinkedIn, no one will trust you. And this is normal because if I come to you and I talk to you without a professional picture or without an optimized LinkedIn, most probably you are just going to ignore me. And that's what's happening with a lot of mentees. Either they have a not complete LinkedIn or they have a LinkedIn that seems like a scam for many recruiters. Then the second thing is to have a clear headline. Here you can mention your role, some keywords in terms of technologies, for example. And then we give many other ideas. This is just being creative, basically. Then you need a feature section. This is something that we encourage more and more, where you can mention your CV, where you can mention your portfolio, your achievements. Then you should also have an about section. This is something that is missing in a lot of profiles that I see. And you should say who you are, what you do, what you target. Again, these are like minimums of what you should have in your LinkedIn profile. And then experience section. This experience section should be complete, shouldn't be, how do you call this? Shouldn't be messing up with the recruiters if they see your CV and it's something super different from your LinkedIn optimization. And then you should have endorsement. It would be nice to see people interacting with you. It could be nice to see your skills. And then it could be nice also to see, not in your skills, but in your languages section, because recruiters, we don't use LinkedIn as you see it. What we use is LinkedIn Recruiter. And for LinkedIn Recruiter, we just look for keywords. So if I want to find someone that, let's say, speaks a basic German or speaks some German, or I want to find someone in the German market, languages is something that they always look for. So German languages or English languages or any other language that you have, it should be there. This is one of the sections that most people miss. They don't include languages, or they include languages in the skills, which the skills section is not for that on LinkedIn. And then recommendations, this is something that you need to get used to have in your profile, not for this job search, but for all the job search that come after this one. So you should get used to ask for recommendations one time, and so on. Okay, and what are the results for this, and why do we put so much attention in this? Because it's going to get you a higher messaging response rate, and it's going to also get you much more inbound messages, which are people or recruiters that contacted you without you doing anything. And this is again because recruiters pay a lot of attention to social media, and more companies want people that participate in the employer branding, which means they are active on LinkedIn and they are also posting, or they will be potentially posting about the company in the future. I think the emphasis on LinkedIn is a really clear thing, right? I will move on and I will go with research, apply, and networking, which means let's imagine we decided what we want, we decided our CV, we decided our LinkedIn, and we need to start applying. Well, Miruna put a beautiful plan here, which was, first of all, the most important thing is that you decide in 3 roles that you want to be considered for. And what I mean with 3 roles is not 3 positions in the week, we are going to get to that, is 3 names of roles that you want to be considered for, and 3 roles or names of roles as a maximum, guys. Don't apply to everything in the market. It's just, again, you are setting up yourself for failure. And then you need to choose the main industries. It's good in the first or 2 weeks of your job search. It's really good if you focus on your main industry or the industries that you were touching when you were working. Don't just apply to every single industry. It's just your first or second week of job searching. Be super strategic, be super niche down, because it's the most important 2 weeks. Like, just see, are these people that are the most qualified companies or roles, are these good, or are these interested in my profile? And then you also need to understand that it matters which company you are part of, and that if you have been, for example, I get a lot of people in big corporation. I work with people from Wayfair, from Zalando, from Bosch, from, I don't know, Siemens. And I see how the companies that will be interested in their experience are also the big companies. If you have been in startups, the companies that will be most interested in your experience will be obviously startups. So decide, this matters a lot, actually. Be clear with location and work setup. So hybrid, on-site, online, remote. And then please also save 10 jobs. I think this is we are going to talk about this, but basically we are going to save around 30 per week. 30 applications is what you should have per week. And then also talk about your deal breakers, guys. I see a lot of people that they don't put deal breakers at the beginning because they are completely desperate. And after that, we see a lot of people unhappy in their own jobs that come again to the coaching and say, I want to get another role. And I see this a lot because we are maybe underpaid, because when we came to Germany, I was not brave enough to ask for more because I was in a rush to get a job. And then 2 months in, 3 months in, 6 months in, or 12 months in, you are already in another job search, which, guys, I can tell you is nothing to be happy about. Most of the people, they want to be in a stable job and they want to have one job search maybe in 2-3 years. And I think you want also that. And that's why we are putting so much emphasis in having this clear. Okay, now we are going to go for follow-up messages, but I will go to this slide, because one thing that you need to start doing already is you need to start connecting with people on LinkedIn. And when I say this, is taken really slightly, and many people think, oh, but you know, if I'm doing this, or if I'm contacting people on LinkedIn, everyone else is doing the same. And guys, we are speaking to I think we speak like 150, 200 people every single month, 200 of you every single month. Not everyone is talking to recruiters or talking to management on LinkedIn, guys. It's, I don't know, it's like 20% of you maybe, if I'm really positive. Most of the people that actually talk to recruiters, they don't do it even intentionally. They use ChatGPT, they write a template, they try it for a couple of contracts and they leave it. So honestly, this is something that you should be doing, because I can tell you not many people are doing it, even if it looks like everyone around you is doing it. If you ask job seekers, hey, how many people did you contact it, or are you contacting people on LinkedIn, and they give you the numbers, you guys will understand. Just ask your friends around and say, how many people do you contact? How many people do you speak to? Most people are really afraid of doing this. And this is something that you need to get used to do it, because you need to build a network in Germany. If you're not new to the job market, like all of us were basically, and if you start at zero, you need to start already building a network. Actually, this is not even something that you should stop doing when you find a job. Like that could be really silly of you to start doing this only because you need a job. Start doing it from now and make it basically a habit. This is some of the templates that we use. Obviously, there are a lot, but what we do want to recommend, because Miruna was super nice and she gave you also a nice to-do list. Basically, we want to recommend that you send 30 connections requests to people on LinkedIn, that you connect with 5 people from every single company, that you have a short introductory message without ChatGPT, guys. So many companies that I work with, they clearly mention if you send a ChatGPT message, you will get a ChatGPT rejection. And this is very true for more and more recruiters. Do proper research. Don't just connect with people and then try to send them a ChatGPT message and then complain when it didn't work. Because honestly, for many of you, yourself, you will be ignoring your own messages, guys. If we are honest, your own messages, maybe they are not even interesting to you. So try to understand, is this message that I'm sending interesting to me, to myself? And then get a conversation going, asking for advice, for example. But honestly, we mentioned so many templates. You can ask also, are you the right person to talk, and so on. This is something that we did. And I did this also with Amendi, I think it was last week actually, that we were applying to roles, and he is actually a data analysis student. And he was not reaching out to people. And if he was reaching out, it was just by messaging people with ChatGPT, with AI messages. And what we did was like, he was applying to data analysis internships, he was getting rejected, and we were like, okay, we want to know why we are getting rejected. And to the same role for which he was getting rejected, we actually contacted the founder, and the founder, the same day, he sent us basically a follow-up saying, hey, can you share my information basically here? And we sent this email, and actually he was in the interview today. He just sent me an email right now saying, interview and thank you email. Anna, can you please review and help me to do this? So this is what you can get from messaging. It's really, really worthy. And for those people where you get nothing in your idea of nothing, you actually get a connection and someone that knows about you and someone that will share your profile with others. So you never know what is going to happen. You really need to start seeing networking as something super, super important. If you apply to a role and you don't connect with people, for me, that's not an application. That's an easy way to, I don't know, that's just, an easy way to just say, okay, if I'm getting rejections, the market is bad. You need to start connecting. And yeah, this is your sign that you should be doing this. I mean, this was real, guys. I wish I could put all the names there, but I don't want to get into corporate and privacy issues. Anyway, let's talk about interviews. So interviews is something that is also a problem we noticed, because we thought, okay, we have mentees and we are giving them all the proper CVs, all the proper materials, then that's cool. They are going to get jobs. And then we realized there are mentees that got 40, 30, 50 interviews and they are not getting a role. And if you think that getting interviews is a problem, just get the interviews and you will see the next problem. This is kind of like I don't know how to call it. It's kind of like a game, you know, when you get to the next level, you unlock another level. And the second level is going to be interview prep. And you will notice because many times, guys, you are not used to interviews and you need to even warm up. So interview prep is going to be one of your focus if you are getting already interviews. And okay, we wanted to give kind of a deadline, I think, for what the interview process look like. And basically in Germany, what they usually do is, first of all, you have a screening call. Either they call you on the phone or they have a video call. And this is 10 to 15 minutes to get to know you better. Then you have a hiring manager interview or hiring human resources interview. These two are two different things. If you are meeting human resources or talent acquisition, you are meeting a recruiter and the questions are going to be about you, your role, how you guys match, and the cultural fit. If you are meeting a hiring manager, you are meeting your next manager. And you should know this because he will ask you really nice questions about technicalities, and you should study this. Then you are going to usually, not every single time, you're going to have a live assessment or an online one. They will send you a task home, and then you will have a final round of interview, which is right now, I'm noticing that most of the companies, what they do is that they call you in, because this happens also because of one reason, which is AI, guys. Before, when we used to train people 1 year ago, they didn't like, it was not so usual that you go to the office. And right now I see most of the final rounds are happening on site. Like I have a lot of people going on site to interviews, and even the people that were with the opportunity card in India, because we have many of those as well. For example, Deepa was one of them. They had to come to Germany to take the interview in person, and we had to arrange basically all the interviews. And this is happening mostly because AI is coming to a place, and many people are also having kind of not cheating, but something really similar. You guys know the applications much better than I do. So yeah, they will call you definitely in person. And that's not a moment to have a coffee with them. That's a moment where you are going to be interviewed in the same way that they interview, or even worse, in the sense of more technical than what you get online. So you should be prepared for all these steps. And obviously this can take 4 to 6 weeks. Honestly, right now, guys, you are in a really sweet spot. And that's why we are putting so much attention in you being focused on your job search, because right now there are companies hiring in record time, basically. Maybe this whole process that you see here is going to be the same process, but it's going to take maybe 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks and a half. Why? Because they need to spend money and they need to hire someone for September onwards. And a lot of companies are really hiring people from September or from October. So this is basically your opportunity. Anyway, I'm going to keep going. This is basically what we have also in terms of more design, basically. So screening call, technical round 1, technical round 2, system with all of them. So an interview with more than one people, usually a live assessment or a technical assessment. Cultural fit, you guys know also this one. You should prepare for this one. There are so many people, they say, I'm not going to prepare for cultural fit. It's just a eco-friendly meeting with people. No, you actually can get rejected also in this one. And then final round interview. And this is basically a really nice example of it. And okay, what do you need to do basically to crack every single interview? Well, the first one, which is actually really ignored for many, is that you need to reply to the hiring manager asking sometimes, honestly, and I encourage this, that you ask them also, how can I prepare best? Like, what can I do? What is going to be the conversation about? Is it going to be in German or in English? I had this person, I'm going to show it later, but I had this person called Sani Dilla, and he's one of the recent success stories. He got a role, well, he got 2 offers, one at, I don't know if I can say the companies. Well, let's say one of the both companies were one of the biggest insurance companies. At some point, you're going to see him in our LinkedIn profile, most probably next week. But basically, what we did all the time is this interview going to be in German? Because we need to prepare. Or is this interview going to be with our hiring manager? Guys, those are things that you need to ask. And then message people who work at the company. This is something that I also recommend, but just be careful because sometimes it happened that we also message the person that was the one interviewing, and obviously they will not answer to you because they cannot be biased to anyone. Research the company. I think this is minimums here, but we need to remind it because I saw also mentees presenting themselves without researching anything about the company. And also, guys, if you are interviewing for a company and let's say you are coming to Jobstis, no, you guys know what we do. We help people get jobs, and you don't find yourself in our mission, for example, we are not going to say yes to you because we will just think that you want a job, right? So even if you imagine yourself applying to your own company, you will have to explain yourself why do you want this job, and you will have to relate yourself personally to this job. It's no point that I hire anyone. It's no point that I hire someone that doesn't have a personal motivation. I need someone that already knows why the person wants to be here. I'm not going to help as a recruiter them to decide. And then analyze the job description, guys. You need to know what they are asking for. And from that, we really have a nice framework, which is get the main keywords from the job description, put them aside, and also learn them. I mean, if they ask you, hey, do you know what this is about? And you say, oh, yes, well, I know that your company is super big and is doing super well. And I know that this role is about, let's say, marketing manager. I mean, that's what, just imagine the other 50 that I had, the other 50 interviews that I have are basically the same. And this is something that I see as a coach because, guys, we have interview prep for the premium. I think someone is on mute. But we have premium prep for the premium people. And I see how all the answers are basically the same answers. So if you don't have specific answers, you will just get rejected, most probably. And then prepare basic questions. You guys know which those basic questions. You can ask ChatGPT about them. I mean, what do you know about us? Why do you want to be here? Tell me about yourself. I mean, guys, this you know more than me even. And then prepare questions to ask the interviewer. And here, the question, what are the next steps of the interview? Guys, that's part, as if I'm a recruiter, that's part of my speech. And that's part of what I have prepared for the meeting. So don't ask me that question. That's something that I will tell you right away. Ask me different questions. Ask me questions that makes me remember you. If I cannot remember you, you have also less chances. So ask me something that makes me remember you. And okay, again, these are some smart ways to win interviews. Again, the same thing, asking employees for advice and tell me about yourself. So asking, basically answering the right questions. And the STAR method, this is something that we are going to get into, but I'm going to get into super quick because I'm running out of time. And I'm seeing my colleagues looking at me like, it's almost 10 minutes left, but I'm going to go super quick. This is something that I did also in my career. So like Miruna said, I was in sales. I'm coming from a sales background and I got to sales manager. That was my last role. And honestly, when I was looking for a job, we were in the same position as you. And guys, I was not afraid to do anything that gets me into the role because I was like, I gotta even pay my rent, which what I have, which was basically, my rent was like 350 euros and I was earning with my job 400 euros. And I was like, I'm not going to lend money to anyone. I will just do whatever it takes. And I was doing networking in a really silly way. I mean, this is real. This is what I was sending. And I was relating myself to people even when I basically saw them in an airport. So this is a guy basically that I saw in the airport with the t-shirt with the name of the company. And I was like, okay, I need to connect with this guy. I need to, ask him a question. I need to know who he is. And we talk in the airport. And then basically I was in the interview with the same company. And basically, he basically gave me a lunch. Not, he gave me his number, but then we met at lunch in one of these Chinese restaurants in Berlin. And it was amazing. I got the job. I mean, this is the company Coach Hub from my profile. So you guys do whatever it has, like whatever you have to do to get that. And many times it just required a message. I just had to send a message. I mean, being brave enough to ask that guy in the airport, hey, I love your company and what's your LinkedIn, get his contact and then have a lunch. So just do it. I mean, it's much bigger in your head than what it is in writing. And then answer the questions right. And I think this is something that we also put a lot of emphasis in, which is structure your answers. And this is something I will, again, go super quick because we don't have time. And basically, we mentioned here at the end one of the examples of what tell me about yourself could be. And here I'm going to just mention one of the common mistakes that everyone does, which is I'm going to tell you about myself. I'm going to mention my company. I'm going to mention all the companies I've been working at. And then I'm going to finish with my hobbies. I hear people talking about their families. I hear people saying super personal stuff. And that's not the way to answer this question. This question is about you, saying how many years of experience you have, saying your education, talking about your companies a bit deeper. Like, I was at this company, I learned X, Y, Zeta, then I transitioned to this other company, I got a foundation in X, Y, Zeta. This should be 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes, and you should end with what you are looking for. And this is something that we use with every single client. This is something that we also teach, and Olga teaches a lot in the community. And you have a call every single week to learn this because this is super, super important. And Olga is teaching even technical, which are much more difficult than just tell me about yourself. And then STAR method. Again, this is the person I was talking about. Sanidilla got 2 offers this week, and we are basically today he sent me the contract, and he will be one of the testimonials that you will see next week. Next week you will also see Deepa in a video basically. And basically what we did is work a lot in the STAR method. Guys, whenever someone asks you for an example of your experience, you cannot just talk like you talk to your friends. I'm serious. You cannot give me an example and say, in this, I was doing this year and this is the result. And some people don't even say the result. You need to speak with situation, task, action, result. STAR method. You should think when you start interviews and when you start your job search, you should start thinking like this. You should start thinking in STAR method. And by the way, this is going to be something amazing to learn. If you are a manager, they will expect you to talk like this even more because you are supposed to have all hands, you are supposed to have stand-up meetings, and you are supposed to have an authoritative image. And if you don't speak like this or you don't know how to communicate, that's going to be something that gets you rejected. And I see so much on technical people that are applying for management. They tell me, Anna, I have all the technical requirements, and they are rejecting me all the time. And I'm like, yeah, because the way that you're communicating your value is not structured. And this is what recruiters speak. So we also gave kind of an example here, but again, I don't have much time to get into this. The most important thing is STAR method. Guys, you can Google it. You can see YouTube videos about it. You can enter the community and Olga will do it with you every single week. You can enter the premium coaching and I will be the one getting every single answer from you. And yeah, you can master it. And I think that's me. And I will leave Olga to talk about this. You heard so much. Thank you, Sandra. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anna. And she's right. Inside the academy, I will also be with you, and we will handle the technical interviews for all the IT, all of it. So, ready to land the job. Inside the academy, you get supported in 4 ways. And if we go to the next slide, we are going to see them. So, one way of doing it is live coaching calls with myself, my sister Anna, and Olga, and Miruna. The other one is we have 7 hours of video training and proven templates and resources. So you can find any follow-up messages, any CV, any cover letter, you have them there, as well as, and the final point is the community feedback access. We've summarized 199 plus successful interview processes completed in Germany.
by our mentees and also by ourselves. With that said, let me talk about all of these four ways of supporting in detail. So the first one is the live weekly mentoring calls, and we have two schedules that will match your live, the morning and the afternoon. We cover cover and CV optimization with Anna and LinkedIn profile optimization with Miruna. I do the interview preparation calls, and Anna will also take those. And finally, community hangouts. We know how important it is to see people win, and we know how important it is to see people also kind of get stuck or in the waiting time, as we say it, waiting for applications, waiting for responses. So we need those two perspectives as we go into this job search. Then secondly, once you are inside, you also have a supportive community and guidance. CV feedback, we will jump right into it. Networking opportunities, job insights and tips given by Anna, a list of companies where you can apply, list of companies and job listings, like Anna said, they're on LinkedIn, Glassdoor, and many more, and accountability partners. Thirdly, you get 7+ hours of video training, and we don't want to bore anyone. It is 1 minute each video, and you get the summarized text just because, look, we are in an age where it's really important for you to get the information fast and to apply it. Then it is topic-specific master classes, which sounds like, hey, we are going to talk about the CV and the cover letter. Then we will talk about the job search in general as well, and I will prepare a lot of insights. And we have a step-by-step job guide to also give you extra support, as well as coaching calls recorded. Then the last one, we get proven templates and resources. So all the CV materials, all the cover letters, messaging, anything that you can think of, we have it for you to have this as intentional as possible. Email, LinkedIn outreach, cover letter template, so sourcing template, so everything. And so now that you get all of this, you understand exactly how this supports you. And just to let you know, all this support is meant, we can go into the next slide, is where this is a proof that we work, and we also had mentees, which is amazing to see that they hop on into 1 month and they already have the offer, and we are more than happy to let you go. And all this is worth about 2,500 euros, all in total. But look, we have been where you are, and Anna was talking about budgeting. So we decided to do it for, I think, 2 coffees per day, which is 5 euros per day, and it's about 65 euros per month. So you can cancel anytime, and we don't have any contract time. So we just want you to really land the job. So if your goal is to land a really high-paying job in English-speaking market in Germany in the next 90 days, we invite you to come into it and get inside the community and the academy. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you. After this, we will have a call with them, and we are gonna talk about how is their processing and what are their bottlenecks. So if you join just now, you will also see us in about 30 minutes. So yeah, that's it from my side. And I give it to Miruna or
Yes.
Anna.
Perfect. I think we can finalize. I was able to get some answers of some questions, and you can jump in the ones that you like. But either way, I would love to tell you guys that you can already get onboarded. Look, if you want something, by this year, I would definitely tell you, make a decision as soon as possible because September is flying by. And I told you some of you guys already some months ago, and we are still here when we could be in interviews already talking about interview stages. Right now, I would encourage you because we don't want you to waste September, really. September, October, November, really good opportunity window for you guys. If you can not afford it or there's something going on your side, of course, we will always be providing value online and we will do more webinars, free master classes. So feel free to come because if this is just helping you one bit, it's totally worth it. Again, I would just say, look, it's September, really good month, and make the best out of it. That's it. Anna, you can also take some questions if you want from, I think, Bilura, who is asking, what if I have 1.5 years working? Yeah.
Working student, 6 months internships in Germany, and 4 years in my home country. That's a whole CV. Am I still able to apply for a junior role or should I apply middle or specialist? Okay, if I count what you have is 1.5 plus 4, it's 5.5. So 5 years and a half, basically. Obviously, for a junior role, you are quite overqualified. As a recruiter, if we explain this CV in great manner, like we actually did earlier, we are not going to be qualified for junior roles. This is a senior mid-level role. So I couldn't apply for junior roles. I will be applying in German language job. Do the employers need certificate? Because I can speak like B2, C1. No, you don't need a certificate. The only thing you need is what we do have in the premium coaching is that we do offer interviews in German. We have a German coach. And for those that know how to speak German and that can handle a German interview, then we have a German interview coach, which is one guy that is, well, one man that is actually teaching in Berlin, German. So yeah, that's what we do, and you should be prepared for that. What if I'm a career changer with no work experience in a new role? I have 7 years in sales, but I'm looking to become a data analyst, currently finishing a bootcamp. Okay, in these cases, it's a bit tricky because obviously those sales roles, we can relate them to data analysis, but it's not going to be the same. And that's why your next manager is going to expect you to network. For example, networking is a big one when you are a career changer. And that's something that we also put a lot of attention. We have many also, if you look at the members, but I don't know if you have access of the community, we do have many career changers because obviously that's where the challenge is. So yeah, I would say sign up for the community. And if you are not going to do that, then start learning networking. That's what we are going to also help you if you sign up, actually. Is it better to apply with a CV in German rather than English? If you speak below B1, apply in English. If you speak upper level, you can apply in German. But it depends on the role, it depends on the company. But I would say if you don't speak German, don't apply in German. You are just going to get calls in German, which are going to be asking you, hey, do you speak German? And you're going to be like, no, I don't speak German. And then it's going to waste your time. It's going to waste their time. It's a bit useless. I have recently got an email from McKinsey for a position for associate. They have sent me an assignment regarding McKinsey Solve Game. Do you guys have any knowledge? How can I ace it? This is a perfect example of what kind of questions we do talk about in the community. Because, for example, if I give you now some, my first thing is, first of all, research the company because these guys, it's a huge company. For sure, they have many examples. But the second one is, this is a perfect example of what we deal with in the community, because you can have a doubt like this and you can go directly to the post and we are going to help you and we are going to give you the guidance. A question for Anna. How to find English-speaking sales jobs in Germany, as I found mainly German-speaking jobs, or sales for DACH market who also need German-speaking jobs.